Chapter 55. Transfer. They had 4 golden days together. They walked the land. They unpacked hung curtains. They dreamed. And Danny slept. He slept as if he hadn't slept in months. She held him. She couldn't not touch him. She never wanted to let go of him. She lay in the mornings pressed against his back, her cheek against the warmth of his shoulder, breathed him in, stroked his hair. She marveled at the way his skin felt against hers, the joy between them. She had never known there could be such tenderness in the closeness to another human being. Sometimes it felt like her heart would break from the intensity of it. It was all-encompassing. And when he woke, he would turn around and find her, pull her tighter against him and love her. But the world and the war could not be kept at bay. They never spoke a word of it, but on Thursday morning when she woke, it was still dark and he was putting on his uniform. It was over. She went to work, and the worry for him walked with her afresh through the day's duties of milking goats, cleaning stables, making cheese. He was home late that evening, and she was quietly angry because the white around his mouth was back and he had dark smudges on his face from hours of wearing his flying helmet and goggles that didn't hide the dark circles around his eyes. But he was smiling, and he kissed her. "How long were you in the air today?" 8-hour circus mission. "Darling, I have news." "If you're smiling like that, it has to be good." "I think you'll like it, darling. It sounds like I'm being transferred to training command. Fred cornered me after we landed and we had a long talk. He asked me how I was doing and I told him about the headaches and struggling to sleep after flying long missions." "What headaches, Danny?" He looked shamefaced. "I haven't really told you. I didn't want to worry you, but I've been having them ever since I got shot down. It didn't used to be so bad on the shorter dogfights over England and the Channel, but the incredibly long hours we're doing now on rhubarbs and the bombers' escorts and long missions have been hell. So he sent me to the medical officer and I got checked out. Basically, it looks like I have some damage to my shoulder from getting shot, and it's stiffening up my neck. On those long runs, it actually gets so bad it feels like I can't turn my head, and by the time I get home, I have a headache so bad I almost see double. I thought it was just stress, but it seems there's an actual problem. I'm supposed to go for a proper checkup on Monday, but Fred's already put in a transfer recommendation." She had to make sure. "That means you're no longer operational? You won't be flying active missions against the enemy?" "That's about the gist of it for now. I might end up being rotated back to operational after a stint at training command if I'm healed up enough. But for a couple of months I'm going to be teaching a lot of theory and fly very limited hours." "And there's not even a bottle of champagne to be had in this country to celebrate." "Dinner and a very strong coffee will do. I'm absolutely starving." He cleaned up and changed while she made dinner, thinking about what he had said. "You're going for that checkup?" "I am, but I'm fine, darling. It's just the muscles. I can feel them bunch up. Look, if you put your fingers there, you'll feel it." Around the old bullet wound, everything was taut, and she could feel the tension running up his neck. She gently massaged his neck, his side, and she could feel a bit of the tightness in him drain. "It's like stone. You should have told me about this earlier, sweetheart." "And worry you more? You were already dying of fear." "Oh, yes, keep doing that." "I'll get you some horse liniment to rub it with. That should help a bit. Pete uses it for all his aches and pains." He was grounded for the rest of the week, though he had to go in. Fred put him on a temporary desk job. Johnny was disgusted. "Who the hell is going to be my wingman now? They're going to tee me up with some wet-nosed boy who doesn't know the difference between a Hurricane and a 109. Screw that. If you're leaving, I'm going to ask to be transferred to a night fighter squadron." It quickly simmered down again, though. It's for the best, though. And if I'm not going to have fun flying with these bloody newcomers, I'm sure I'll get one trained soon. You're a married man now, and we can't have you with your luck flying over occupied France for much longer without some disaster. Eleanor wrote Linda again and sent her pictures of their wedding. It was as they lay in bed on Sunday night with her head on his shoulder that she asked him, "You know, Danny, I don't think I've thought about you joining the RAF properly until Linda wrote about what a big deal it was. It seems it's still quite a big deal, too. If I got caught, it would be around 10 years in jail or a fine I wouldn't be able to pay. They say Roosevelt's more relaxed about it, unofficially, but I don't know. I'm not willing to take chances, and at this point, it seems unlikely I'll be able to return there. To Canada, yeah, but there's not much point there. It might change if America gets caught up in the war, but we seem determined not to. Will you tell me the story?" He ran his hand through his hair, laughed. "It seems very long ago now. So I have an aunt called Rosemary Bouchard in Canada. She and my mother weren't very close. There was about 15 years age difference between them, and Rosemary was the older one. I'd sent her a letter when my mom passed away, but I never heard from her. Then when I decided to join, I sent her a telegram proposing to visit. She sent back, delighted, informed date of arrival.